Hello everyone and welcome to the Cornish Games Nights. Today we're going to do a brand new video for you guys and tell you what I've been up to these last couple of 6 months. If some of you guys know on Discord, I wanted to build an arcade cabinet. Just a bar top one for now. And it's taken me 3 years to get everything together and actually be bothered, and I finally managed to build one. With the help from my family, I'm no good at building and stuff, so we tried to make it as budget-y as we can. So this video is going to show you how I spent £150 on building an arcade machine. So the first thing I did was collect some of the gear. So we ended up spending a total of a good amount really here. The only thing we didn't get is the black arcade T-Mods because that was 18mm. I have an arcade which has a 12mm of wood length. A1 Displays actually has a Facebook link for all its designs, which is incredible, and we'll get into later into the video of what our problem was. But they've built so much good designs. They've got them on Facebook. I'm going to put a link in the description of their thing. If you ever want to try and get an arcade, you can always persuade and ask them. I don't know. But yeah, they did ours for about £44.99, which is perfect. Order total £59.98. Then we went over to the 2-player arcade control kit because I did have old school buttons, but they were lost. Loads of other accessories were lost when I moved home, and yeah, that was a bit of a ball ache. I also bought a kit just like this, pretty much. The USBs were the same, and the little port thing was the same, and the bottom bit there was the same. However, because I lost a load of bits on there, I had to replace it and then get one of these over here. And then I had to buy more wiring, which didn't cost too much really. Considering the ones I got were £20, that's around at least 100. I already had a Raspberry Pi, so if you really want to count that in, that's £32. The monitor gave to me was free off my friend Adam, and I think in total was around the £150, just between £150. So we got to work. A few weeks that have arrived, and they finally all came in, but in all pieces. They only gave us some basic screws and some stuff to put it on together, but we never really had like any glue or any other thing. So we started getting to work. I went to my parents' place because they had a bigger size room, and my dad is an absolute whiz at building stuff. So this was more of like a project of father and something, which was amazing. So the first thing I did was get the wiring all set up on the front panels for, you know, put all the buttons in and everything. However, we had to stretch open the holes in there because they were a bit too small, so we sanded it all down. I think it took us about half an hour to sand everything down to make the hole sockets for the buttons. Next up, I got the middle bit where it says player 1 and player 2. So at this time, I couldn't do anything at all, so my dad decided to start putting everything together. Whilst Dad went down, we went to the shop and I got myself a grey vinyl tape because I didn't want it just to be plain and things, so I wanted to have a little bit of basic colours in. I also ordered some Space Invaders vinyl strips just to have that kind of classic look. And not to mention the final thing, and that was the USB port socket thing that looks like a button. You can unveil the front bit up and then you can plug in an Xbox controller in case you don't want to play your arcades and you want to play like N64 games or so. That's that feature in, which I thought would be really, really cool. So at the time, I couldn't really do anything, and I ended up watching Dad start building things, putting things together, as yeah, he likes to do his building. So I wish I could have helped, but I'm terrible at it. Whilst Dad was doing that, I was getting some of the files for the arcade machine and getting a new image file. However, my 124 gigabytes broke, so I'm resorted to 65 gigabytes, which is fine because there's still loads of amount of arcade games on there. And to anyone who is wondering how I got those things, I went to a website called Arcade Punks where they do all sorts here, game packs, front ends, and also Pi 4 and 3 images. I didn't get the Pi 4 yet, but I will do soon. But yeah, it was really, really cool. Then came the tricky part. Wiring it all up after it's all been glued up. So the shell is ready, everything's all stuck up. All the vinyl that took quite some time was a pain in the ass. And then also screwing all the buttons in was a pain, and also connecting the joystick on there was also a pain. Now the worst bit of it all was the wiring, and the wiring took me about, I'd say, an hour, because once it's all glued on there I couldn't take it off, so I had to use my fingers to really get in there and try and get out the wire bits. We had a small tiny problem with the first and second ports, because the arcade buttons itself was massive, so pushing the bottom ones together would slam in, and I couldn't be able to wire or put any of the boxes on there. These boxes are your connectors, where these buttons are your connectors where you can travel feedback through your wires. So we ended up extending the player 1 and player 2 and put a plastic disc around it, so it almost looks alright, and yeah, it fits all perfectly after that. We had to weld the front ones in together, because once that's in there we won't be able to get it out anyway, so welding it would have been a better option for those front ones. And I worked on the second ones, which I can easily just plug in straight away, which wasn't too bad. And then after that we fitted the wall mount, but we had to screw it in because the guy asked us to glue it in. But we didn't. We knew it wasn't going to hold long, so we ended up screwing that in instead. And yeah, it turned out really, really well. We did a test run on it. The only problem is I need to get a new image file where it also helps the second port in, because every game I would play with a friend on the arcade thing, well, I would have to manually configure the second one instead of just easily configure. It got confused with the other joystick, which I'm hoping I can find an image file that actually has separate image files for the controllers. But either way, it worked so well. It worked really, really well. We did a test run on my dad's Pi, and that worked. So I took it back home, and now comes down to the final bit. I bought myself a 4-plug socket, stuck it in the back, and I went to work on the Raspberry Pi. So once everything was connected, we gave it a test run, and oh my god, it works. It works like a charm. It was absolutely incredible, and this was a project I was so excited to do for a long time. It may not be the biggest, fanciest thing, but for me, I built a dream thing. So, yeah. I hope you liked this little video. That's what I've been up to for the past few months of my personal time. Just getting everything sorted. So when I've got friends over, we've got an arcade machine for everyone to play if they just stop talking and want to play games. It's there. 12,000 games on there, which is good. I'm happy with it. And thinking about it, I may have just spent around 160 instead of 150. I think it was between 150 and 160 in total. The Raspberry Pi was merely a gift to me, so I didn't really spend any money on that, so I'm classing that out as it. But if you want to total it all down with a monitor, it would be around 180 quid. But like I said, I only spent 150 quid on this because most of the items were gifted to me, like the Raspberry Pi and the monitor. But everything else wasn't. I want to express my thank yous to the people who have subscribed to me on Twitch and helped me fund this. Not to mention a big shout and thank you to my old man dad for helping me out, making this dream come true. It's great to have one in here, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of this project. To everyone who's here now, we're going to be bringing up some awesome content, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please leave a like in the video, and that will mean a lot to me. Leave a comment if you did enjoy this video, and I will try and put all the links of what I got in the description below. Well, that's it. You guys take care and have a wonderful day.